There is a Brazilian teacher. There's a teacher. He was born in Brazil. He is Brazilian. There is a Brazilian teacher. Does he teach math? No. Does he teach history? Does he teach literature? Does he teach geography? Don't know much about history. Don't know much about geography. Don't know much about the course I took. Don't know much about... Esqueci a letra. Does he teach science? Leçons. L'histoire. L'art. Does he teach arts? No. What does the Brazilian English teacher teaches? What does he teach? What subject does he teach? English. He teaches English. There is a Brazilian teacher. He teaches English. There is a Brazilian English teacher. There is a teacher. He is Brazilian. He teaches English. There is a Brazilian English teacher. Now, what does the Brazilian English teacher love? Does he love Peppa Pig? No. His younger daughter loves Peppa Pig. Do you like Peppa Pig? Do you like Peppa Pig? Yes or no? Does he love Starbucks? Yes, he does. He loves Starbucks. Does he love airplanes? Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Does he love baseball? Does he love baseball? No, he doesn't. Does he love honey now? Take me into your loving arms. On your head and stars. Take me into your living arms. Does he love playing the guitar? Does he love singing? The Brazilian English teacher, okay? The questions are about the Brazilian English teacher, not about Felipe. No. What does the Brazilian English teacher love? He loves high performance. He loves high performance. He loves high performance tennis and Novak Djokovic. He always watches Djokovic interviews and matches on YouTube, feeding from his champion mentality. So, who does the Brazilian English teacher love to watch? Does he love watching Neymar? Does he love watching Lionel Messi? Does he love watching Rafael Nadal? Who does the Brazilian English teacher love watching? Djokovic. What does... Vamos fazer batidão de perguntas aqui, ó. What does the Brazilian English teacher love watching about Djokovic? Does he like to watch videos about Djokovic's private life? No. Does he like watching videos about Djokovic's children? No. Does he like watching videos about Djokovic's businesses? No. What does the Brazilian English teacher love watching about Djokovic? He loves watching Djokovic matches, tennis matches, and he loves watching Djokovic's interviews. When journalists ask questions to Djokovic. Where does the teacher watch Djokovic matches and interviews? Where? On television, on Netflix, on Amazon Prime. Where does he usually watch Djokovic matches and interviews? On YouTube. On YouTube. How often, how frequently does he watch Djokovic matches and interviews on YouTube? Never, rarely, sometimes, usually, frequently. How often, how frequently, how constantly. Always. He always watches Djokovic. he constantly watches Djokovic on YouTube. Always, constantly, frequently watches Djokovic on YouTube. Does he watch only to Djokovic playing tennis? Huh? Does he watch only Djokovic practicing? Does he watch only Djokovic playing, practicing? No. He also watches Djokovic's interviews. Djokovic speaking to journalists, answering questions, answering journalists' questions. Now, who does the teacher love watching? Djokovic. Vamos fazer metralhadora de perguntas. Who, tenta responder aí. Who does the teacher love watching? Djokovic. Where does he usually watch Djokovic? On YouTube. How often does he watch Djokovic on YouTube? Always, constantly, frequently. What does he love watching about Djokovic? Matches and interviews. He loves watching Djokovic playing tennis, Djokovic's movements, and Djokovic's interviews. When he speaks to journalists, when he speaks, when he answers questions from journalists. Now, very important question. Very important question. Why does the teacher always watch Djokovic matches and interviews? Why? What is the reason? Why does the Brazilian English teacher always watch Djokovic's matches and interviews? Because Djokovic has. Why? What is the reason? What is the motive? For what reason he watches Djokovic matches and interviews? Why? Why does the teacher watch Djokovic's matches and interviews. Why? Why? For what reason? Because Djokovic has a champion mentality. Djokovic has the mindset of a champion. And the teacher feeds from Djokovic's champion mentality. Imagine Peppa is a baby. Babies babies feed from their mothers. The baby is feeding, eating, receiving nutrients, receiving power. Quando a história diz, the Brazilian English teacher always watches Djokovic matches and interviews, feeding from his champion mentality. He absorbs. He is inspired, motivated. The more he watches Djokovic playing, the more excited, the more powerful, confident, energized he gets. Why? Because Djokovic has the mindset of a champion. He is the most successful tennis player in history. He is the most successful, the most victorious tennis player in tennis history. Djokovic is the most successful, victorious in tennis history. He's a great champion. So, when Djokovic speaks, it's a champion speaking. When Djokovic plays, it's a champion playing. He is a champion in action. He is a champion. The teacher loves to see the champion in operation. The way he responds to problems. The way he deals with, the way he reacts, responds, the way he administrates problems. Why? Because he is a champion. And he is the most successful, the most victorious man in tennis history. So whenever Djokovic has a problem, the way he manages, the way he deals with, the way he copes with the problem, the way he administrates the problem is the way of a champion. He has a champion mentality. Vamos fazer algumas perguntas. Vamos lá. Vamos fazer um bombardeio de perguntas agora. Who has a champion mentality? Who has a champion mentality? Who has a champion mentality? Djokovic. What does Djokovic have? A champion's mentality. The mindset of a champion. The mental attitude of a champion. He is the most successful, he is the most victorious man in the history of tennis. Who likes to watch Djokovic playing and speaking, answering questions because of his champion mentality? Who? The Brazilian English teacher. What does the Brazilian English teacher, what does he do with Djokovic's champion mentality? He feeds from his champion mentality. He, just like a baby just like babies feed from their mothers. Ok? Feed, eat, receive, get nutrients from, just like babies feed from their mother. The Brazilian English teacher feeds. He feeds from Djokovic's champion mentality. Djokovic's mental strength, mental force, mental power